bridge of sights, to rest my eyes in shades of green, under dreaming spires, to Ichiku Park, that's where I've been. What did you do there? I got high. What did you feel there? Well, I cried. But why the tears there? Tell you why. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. I feel inclined to blow my mind. Guitar, beat the ducks with a bum. They all come out to groove about, be nice and have fun and listen. Tell you what I'll do. What will you I'd like to go there now with you. You can miss out school.
I like Kamala. She's all right. I like her almost as much as that Zelensky guy. Oh, I like Zelensky with the... I like him in those little tight T-shirts. He looks good. He looks like a little G.I. Joe. Yeah, we ought to sell those. Little G.I. Joe kind of Zelenskys with the kung fu grip. Holding on to a nice fat wad of American cash.
Not just with their sexuality, but also with their gender identity.
This is
it's one
a
of the
teacher.
reasons I think it's so important to be out and loud and proud. I teach my elementary school students about gender identity. Some people are girls, some are boys, some are both, some are neither. I'm kid. We do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and he goes, oh, that one?
So there's something really wrong in the country and in our classrooms.
Kids, a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. So if you have a physical covering with one layer, you put another layer on, it just makes common sense that it likely
no mask,
more effective.
one
And that's the
mask,
reason why you
two
see
masks.
people either double masking or doing a version of an N95.
Wait.
This is the first frost. You know what was happening. You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window.
Huh?
That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And so I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community at home.
Sort of.
These truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. I want to thank the former general. I keep calling him general. The guy who runs that outfit over there.
What?
This is jobs that are going to be created here. A joke. Think about it. Think about what you think about. This is an extraordinary story being written today in America by this administration as I step all over my coat. A good thing my mom's not around. This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
America?
This is who we are. You know how much we're going to do with the deficit this year? I used to drive a tractor trailer.
You did?
And so I know a little bit about driving big trucks.
Girl.
In his own little world, we can say. If Kamala was here, she'd laugh. Hey, don't begrudge me a little vacation, would you? I mean, if I'm running in 2024, I'm going to have to get back in that basement. Come on, man.
Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Put on the brakes. Put on the brakes. We're back. Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, bung-eyed heifers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, that is, the NEK, to another version of It's News to Us. Oh, and many thanks to our engineer, Philo. It's good to be back. He's waving in the booth.
He's going to get a beer soon here.
He's our engineer extraordinaire. Couldn't do it without him. And you can see his drum videos on YouTube at Terry DeFazio. I'm not sure when you'll be seeing this because YouTube, they gave me my second strike for misinformation. Misinformation for a 2-year-old show. A show that we aired 2 years ago.
It was 2020, wasn't it?
Day after tomorrow, 2021.
Oh, 2021. Okay, yeah.
It happened to be Inauguration Day. Aha. And
Did
you know
it, that
what?
did it.
I did state misinformation. I'll admit to that. There's standards. But it was 2 years ago, man. And how do I know the standards then were even in place about mentioning the election? I don't recall anything about that. But anyways, what I did notice, Philo, get this. While I was watching, okay, before we get going, I got to tell you who we are, where we are. Sorry, we're getting carried away. You are watching It's News to Us. We're Newport Shoulders TV News. What's your new? New brown cow, as the locals say. Here's some real news websites. You can check on them, and they'll give you the real news. You can hit pause and look them up yourself, because Lord knows there's so much misinformation up there. And the corrupt fear us, the honest support it, the heroic join us. That's right. And lo and behold, we're watching democracy in action in the speaker fight right now at the Capitol. And for those of you who can't find me on Rumble, okay, you have to look under It's News to Us. I'm going to change that. It's News to Us with my name, Steve Merrill. I'll make a new sign. It's not It's News to Us Vermont. It's News to Us Steve Merrill. Or you could just pipe in It's News to Us. Thank you, Philo, because he cleared that up. I had trouble finding it, but I guess I didn't go far enough down the search list.
Hey,
I'm
I
stupid.
had trouble finding it.
Yeah, and he downloads the damn things.
Yeah, I had to type your name in after It's News to Us, but that's what you got to do, ladies and gentlemen.
But it did show up under It's News to Us, but you have to scroll down the bottom of the page. I guess Rumble, they're just starting out. They are free speech and all that. But anyways, I'm looking through that show because the new owners of YouTube, the new owners they went back. Get this. They had tons of stuff on YouTube, like remember the Nuremberg trial stuff I showed you?
Oh, yeah.
The video where I showed my dad was an MP at the Nuremberg trials, and I had video of him and other stuff. So what I would do to save this for my own records, what I would do is I would email that page of that video to myself. So whenever I wanted a record of it, I would just go to my mail that's, from me to me, and I would find it. Well, I noticed after the new owner showed up, when the new owner showed up, they surreptitiously went through my computer. I don't know how they did this. They went through all my emails and sucked up every video, every music video, every video, YouTube video I had saved, Philo. Just poof, gone. How they could do that legally is beyond me, but I'm not going to scream at them right now because I know I'm up to 171 subscribers now, and that's a good thing. But who knows how long we'll be able to broadcast. Let's put it that way.
Well, you have almost as many subscribers as I do.
Pardon me?
You have almost as many subscribers as I do.
Cool.
I think I have 209.
Oh, all right.
So if you have 170 something, that's great.
Yeah.
I'll even drink to that.
Cheers. Happy New Year. Have a beer. And Philo, we keep him locked in the booth. You can see his drumming videos on YouTube at Terry DeFazio, a drummer extraordinaire. But we have to lock him in the booth, in the engineering booth, and we slide a pizza under the door every now and then because he scares people, let's face it. People come into the studio. There's a reason Todd's in front.
Yeah, it has to do with Christian apologists.
Yeah, we keep Philo hidden in the back. Philo for Philo T. Farnsworth, the inventor of modern American television. But anyways, the news stories that don't make the news. Anyway, so I'm looking at the Google, YouTube makes you watch the video that they're going to pull. And mind you, this video is 2 years old, like I said. It was from January of 2021, 22, 23. in 2 days, it will be exactly 2 years old. And they went searching back, the algorithms went searching back through their archives and pulled this. Not that anyone's looking at my 2-year-old videos. God only knows how you'd find the damn things. So anyways, while I'm watching this video, they make you watch it from front to back, and before you can appeal, you have to watch the whole video, and I'm watching it. And one of the things I noticed, Philo, one of the news stories I covered that day was a headline that said, D.C. mayor calls in guard for protests for January 6th. Now think about it. If I did the show on Wednesday, January 6th, right?
Yep.
It takes at least a day, maybe 2, for the print media to catch up to the real world.
Usually the next day, yeah.
Yeah, at least the earliest being the next day. So that means she called out the National Guard either Monday or Tuesday. And it's like, if she called out the National Guard, Philo, where were they?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, maybe that's the reason why the thing got censored. Maybe it wasn't my yapping about some stupid election baloney. Maybe that was the reason. You know, you start getting paranoid. And we either had free speech or you don't. And I know people say, well, it's a private company, you have to abide by the rules and regulations. Well, when you own that big of a share, I was talking to Philo earlier, the only trouble we used to get in the old days was copyright for music. And that's why in the old days I used to just run, music video, Grateful Dead, because Grateful Dead heads don't care. But ever since we've used music, Philo's kind enough to put in the ASDN number so that people know who the artist is and, the name and whatever. And we don't run it long enough for them to even have a whole song. So we're not, and plus at the beginning of every show we put up the thing where we're educational, We're not profit. I don't make any money. I don't have any ads. None of that stuff.
Yeah, that's what always got me was, why is everybody so upset when you're not actually making money on any of this? The same as my videos.
It's open source. Well, it started, Philo, with Walt Disney and that stupid mouse. Because normal copyrights used to expire after 2, 3, 5 years, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And old man Disney, he got in there and he would lobby years and years for that stupid mouse to be copyrighted and everything else Disney related too. So now these copyrights just go into perpetuity, it seems. Anyways, some more news that you won't hear on the news. All right. They were talking about, I was watching football, and Philo gets a kick out of this because I never watch football. I'm a political animal, but TV's been so crappy lately. I've been watching the games, and they had a couple killer games. The Patriots game was pretty good on Sunday, okay? And then after that, the Packers-Vikings game, that was insane. Last-minute interceptions and touchdowns and running the whole length of the field. It's crazy. It was crazy good. So I didn't get to watch Monday Night Football, but Monday Night Football, this guy got whacked and his heart stopped.
Yeah.
His name's Hamlin, right?
Yeah, he was a safety.
Yeah, He's still alive.
Yep, he's still alive.
Right off the bat, the narrative comes out, these conspiracy theorists. They come out saying, well, he's vaccinated, but it's not the vaccine. No. It's not the vaccine. It's this other heart condition where it's usually people who get hit in the chest with a hockey puck or a baseball, fastball. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor. What do I know? But so anyways, I start scratching my head and I'm looking, I wonder what percentage of the NFL is vaccinated, Philo, right?
No, supposedly they all are, or they can't play.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, they had a couple of carve-outs for religion and something else. I went on the actual NFL website, and turns out that 95% of the players are vaccinated, 100% of the staff and other people are vaccinated. So everyone on that field, everyone around those people are vaccinated. 95% of the players are vaccinated. And so they're going on and on and on. And then I saw on Tucker last night before, whatever. He had Dr. Peter McCulloch. He's been a skeptic, and he's a eminent cardiologist, professor of cardiology, the whole 9 yards. The guy's brilliant. Anyways, he stated, now this isn't me, it's not misinformation, I'm just quoting people here. What do I know? I'm quoting the guy who was on Tucker Carlson. He said over the, usually with professional sports in Europe, Philo, they used to see about 29 cardiac events a year in soccer and God knows whatever else sports they play in Europe, you know. It's 2,900 a year.
Cricket.
Yeah, cricket.
The worst one, though, is bowling.
Oh, bowling. Bowling for dollars. Candlepins for cash.
We digress, but sorry.
Yeah. So anyways, since the vaccine, Philo,
yeah.
I'm sure it's purely coincidental because the vaccine's been proven safe and effective. Just repeat after me. Safe and effective, safe and effective.
And it stops the virus right in its tracks.
Yeah,
it will never spread again.
It stops it. You can't transmit it. You can't get it. Come on, man, get with the program. Our patience is wearing thin, as Biden said.
Oh boy, talk about wearing thin.
Yeah. So we've gone from Europe has gone from 29 a year to 1,500 a year.
Oh yes.
In the past 2 years.
Now, this can only be attributed to two things, Steve.
I don't know. We got to watch ourselves here, Philo.
I'm just asking a question. Either nobody's immune to anything because we're locked up for so long, or the vaccine really didn't work.
Oh, I didn't bring in that book. I've got the book by Peter Navarro, and I have the latest book by Dr. Malone, the guy who invented the mRNA method. The name of his book is Lies My Government Told Me. And there's a section in there about what it does to the spikes. Anyways, I'll have to bring it in. I'll have to read it verbatim because I'm not a doctor and I'm too stupid to repeat it. But in Peter Navarro's book, the guy who was the trade czar under Trump, he was part of Operation Warp Speed and stuff. He goes on, he's after Fauci for not allowing therapeutic drugs. Same with Dr. Malone. Dr. Malone came out and said how many thousands or millions of people could have been saved if they'd had access to these off-the-shelf cheap drugs early. But some people stalled the studies. We won't say who they are. Fauci. Some people said made the drugstores afraid you couldn't get them filled. The doctors couldn't write prescriptions for them. And then the studies they did do in the United States, they only allowed people to take them after they became sick for 2 or 3 days, when other global studies had shown that if you give it to them early, like right away, and that was another thing, the tests. They blew it with the tests. Why did they blow it with the early test, Philo?
Well, probably they did the numbers they wanted, so they kept using it.
Well, that's as good a theory as any. Well, it turns out that Trump wanted the private sector to develop the test right away. And Stephen Hahn or whatever at the FDA said, no, we got this one. We're the FDA. We know how to do tests, you know. So supposedly he developed the first test and it didn't do squat. So then they went to the PCR method. Now, the PCR method being invented by Dr. Cary Banks Mullis. You can see his website. He's dead, but his website lives on. Kary, CaryBanksMullis.com. He said that his PCR method was never, ever to be used as a test, because the more you amplify it, the more you find. So if you've had it's like a scent with a dog. If the thing's been moved, the scent lingers and the dog still goes after it. And so he said, no, don't use it as a test. So what did they do? The government test failed, of course, because government can't seem to do much right. The government test failed. They used the PCR method, and I got into arguments when I had, because I was still doing the friggin' press conferences with the governor back then. And I kept getting into arguments with them. I said, look, you're using a cycle threshold of 30, 35 or over when it's been proven that many cycles will guarantee positive test results. But anyways, I digress. 29 a year to 1,500 a year. I'm sure it's just my imagination. Oh, and they're bitching at this guy Santos because he lied to get elected.
No, you're kidding.
Yeah. Oh, here's some Democrat lies for you. Remember Hillary Rodham Clinton said she tried to join the Marines in the 70s? She lied about having Jewish grandparents. She said she was going to have a kosher kitchen in the White House. And she was the originator of the birther story about Obama because, and I told Todd this is where this came from. It didn't come from Trump or the Republicans. It came from Hillary's campaign. What happened was when Obama first published his book, The Cream of My Father or something like that, on the flyleaf, there's always a blurb about the author, right? On the cover, the jacket, the book jacket. Well, on the first printing of the book jacket, it said that he was born in Kenya. Subsequently, they corrected it on further editions of the book, but the first editions, I guess, said that he was born in Kenya, so people took him at his word and said, "Man, he's born in Kenya." And the Hillary people went out and ran with it.
And it still didn't get her elected.
No. Well, I was thinking the other day, that's why everybody went after Clinton in the 90s. It wasn't so much they hated Bill. They loved Bill. They didn't like his elbow wife there, with the wife with the sharp elbows. She was the one trying to yap and push people out of the way to get in front of a camera and a microphone every chance she could get. Mm-hmm. She made Eleanor Roosevelt look tame.
Yeah, Eleanor Roosevelt was actually a decent woman.
Yeah.
Not this one, boy. Hillary's a unit.
Oh, man. Yeah, so the birther thing came from Obama's, the cell sheets. That's what they call them. And how about Joe Biden? Oh, I used to go to synagogue after Mass. Remember that one?
No, but boy, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Said he'd gone to the synagogue after Mass on Sundays, really? And then he said he was part Italian because he married Dominic Giacopo's daughter. Well, the only thing is, Jill's name before she got married was Jacobs. Her grandfather's name was Giacopo. What the hell? And then Hillary said that she was under enemy fire at the Tuzla Air Base, remember, in Bosnia? Oh, yeah, sure. And then Joe Biden, he's got 3 degrees. He was at the top of his class, And they even put me in to go to the Naval Academy in Annapolis. And, I used to drive a truck, too, Man. And his grandfather, Ambrose Finnegan, and he was an All-American. They looked that one up, and it's like, what? No. His grandfather played sports long before there was any All-American stuff. Ambrose Finnegan, my butt. And then the corn pop story with the chain. And he said he was part Puerto Rican. And he said he'd never met Hunter's business partners. Sure. And then the best one of all to come from the Democrats is Liz Warren saying that she was Indian. What the hell? Especially when she used that excuse. There's my old buddy Mackie. He's out in the car. She used that Indian excuse to elbow real Native Americans out of the line who needed scholarships and needed the entry or whatever it is to get in line for college. So how many people did Liz Warren put out on the street by saying she was Indian?
Dartmouth used to have that in for Native Americans, at Dartmouth College, and that's gone. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Oh, and get this. On January 9th of 2020, Peter Navarro had a memo for a high-speed vaccine. And he wanted 150 million doses by October, November. And Fauci said, it'd be far longer than that. No way. And then Navarro pushed for remdesivir and monoclonal antibodies, and those were in scarce supply too, because to this day I think there's still no treatment for the damn virus.
I think my wife told me that they're giving something now, when you first come down with it, that will really ease the symptoms quite severely.
Yeah, that's what they're claiming with Paxlovid.
Yeah, it wasn't that ivermectin, was it?
No, they'll never admit that one.
Okay. I didn't know what it was, but she heard about it.
Yeah, I think it's Paxlovid. I think they gave it to our boss's father. I have to ask him about it. And then even back then, when they were talking about coming out with a vaccine, Alex Azar, the head of HHS, he warned that by the time you get a vaccine ready, the virus is going to mutate. So you get a vaccine ready, by the time you ship it out to the hinterlands, most people have already had the virus, and it's mutating by then, and the vaccine might not be effective. Oh, God almighty. And on January 29th, Peter Navarro warned that we were at risk of a full-blown pandemic. But yet, 3 days earlier, Fauci said on January 26th that the virus posed a very, very low risk to the United States.
That's because he shipped off all the research over to China.
Yeah.
Or so he thought.
And the Ukraine, you wonder why Pooty Poot's so pissed off at us. How many, remember they said, we might have a few. No, we don't have any labs in the Ukraine. And then they said, we might have 10. And then they found out, and they said, it might be 20. And then we find out, it might be 30. Yeah, but, you can trust us. Would we lie to you?
Of course, they wouldn't know how to do anything else.
Yeah, so anyways, remdesivir versus hydrochloroquine. Hydrochloroquine cost roughly $12 a pill. On March 19th, Trump said that the HCQ was a game changer, and they had 63 million doses of it, Philo, in storage, in government storage, in FEMA.
Well, didn't they give it to Trump when he caught it?
No, that was further on down the line. I'm not sure if they did or didn't.
They gave him a couple of drugs right off, and it helped him quite a bit.
Yeah, he didn't get. That was like 6 or 9 months later. He didn't get COVID until. Well, they threw him into Walter Reed a couple of months before the election. So it would have been late summer, I believe.
Yeah.
Of 2020. Anyways, they had 63 million doses in FEMA storage. It's just wild stuff, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, get this. The stuff that's coming out with the Twitter revelations, and I was talking to my gay buddy about this too. God bless him. I don't know what happened to him, Philo. He was one of the most skeptical people I ever knew. He wouldn't believe it was raining unless he actually felt it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And then suddenly, he's watching MSNBC. He thinks Fauci is the God's gift to the United States, and the government would never lie to us, right? Of course they would. That's a conspiracy. That's misinformation.
Well, you've got a case now in this country where people are not taught critical thinking. They don't see when paradoxes come up. For example, I mean, my wife and I were concerned when this thing first came out.
Sure.
When all of a sudden they said, well, you can't go to church, but you can go to the liquor store, or you can go to the gun place, and it's like, well, wait a minute here. Is this bad or not?
Yeah.
What are you trying to tell us here?
You can't gather, but they could go out and demonstrate for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Yep. That was another one, too. It's like, my goodness.
In crowds.
Yeah.
In crowds.
And every time they had like a motorcycle rally, it was a super spreader.
The super spreaders, yeah.
But guess what? It didn't happen. That never happened.
And it turns out we're finding out this stuff. So I asked him, I said, do you believe the stuff that Musk is coming out with on Twitter? And he looked right at me, he says, that guy's crazy. I'm all, well, maybe he is crazy, but He's a brilliant friggin' engineer. He's landing rockets right side up. He's the only one that I know of that's successfully sending live astronauts up to the space station and back. I don't know, except for the Russians. It's like, what the hell, man? So I said, this is, what? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And he says, we have to stop disinformation. I says, who determines what's disinformation?
Right.
I said, the only answer to wrong speech is more speech. I said, people want to believe the earth is flat. Let them come out and propose it. I don't care. And as far as Nazis and stuff like that goes, let the Nazis have free speech. That way you can tell who they are. Yep. You'll know the fruit by the tree by the fruit it bears. It's like, what the hell, man? Oh, we got to combat man. He said that with a smile on his face because he knew he didn't believe it himself. There's Spike. There's Spike.
Hey, Spike.
What a dog he was. Such a cool dog. One of my best buddies ever.
Remember when I nicknamed him Mac and Cheese?
Yeah.
And Kevin actually thought your dog's name was Mac and Cheese.
There's Mac right next to him. Mac's got to get the camera hog in. So anyways, he's sitting there telling me that we've got to clamp down on misinformation. He couldn't keep a straight face. He couldn't. Well, anyway, some of the stuff we're finding out, it seems that the guy, what's his name? Mike Benz. He runs one of the oldest websites for internet freedom in the country. I mean, these people have been around since the internet, or since Al Gore invented it. And it's called the Foundation for Freedom Online, all one word, .com. And Mike Benz, he was on Bannon's War Room. It turns out that the people at the Atlantic Council and the Atlantic Magazine, which is now owned by Steve Jobs' widow, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And the people on the board have very familiar names, Philo, like Brennan, Clapper. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, the War Machine people. So anyways, Mitch McTurtle was parroting their number one priority was the Ukraine. That's our number one priority. And you ask any American on the street it's about number 25 or 28. Nobody cares about the damn Ukraine. They're not a member of NATO. It's crazy. And so anyways, it's there we are. It turns out that the Atlantic Council and the Ukrainians' intel agency, supposedly, now this is all reported, it's not me, the Ukraine intel agencies, SSS-CIP, and the Atlantic Council were using our tax money to censor 22 million tweets, Philo. They're censoring little people, small people who have 10 followers. If you didn't go with the corporate message, man, that was it. Yeah. And Zelensky, this killed me. The guy, we finally found a flag that the Congress will stand up for, and it was the Ukrainian flag. That punk Zelensky showed up at Congress. First he visited the White House with Joe, wearing that stupid sweatshirt or sweater, like Mr. Muscle Man. He couldn't put on a suit or anything. He comes into the White House with a stupid tracksuit on, and then he addressed Congress with the same stupid tracksuit on, and telling us we got to give him another $50 billion or $60 billion, whatever the hell it was. And this is the same democratic Ukraine, mind you, where he's jailed his political opponent, he's canceled opposition TV, radio, print, and all media, and banned the Orthodox Church. And I saw a thing, they said, look, they're celebrating the holidays in the Ukraine. And it showed this Ukrainian Orthodox Church with a couple of old priests, and they had a pretty good pan on it, and there was nobody there, Philo. Because he's like clamped down on the churches. If you get caught worshiping how did he put it? Without proper authority or permission, you could be busted. And anyways, remember I sent you that report about his wife going on a $60,000 euro shopping spree in Paris?
In Paris, yeah.
They did that on purpose because while she was buying stuff in Paris, that was a cover for him secretly flying to the United States.
Ah.
See how that works? Yeah, sure. It's unbelievable. But anyways, here we are. This is from one of my favorite newspapers and websites. And I'm just reporting now, in case of the algorithm people. Here it is right here, the Epoch Times, and you can see them on this interweb, on that computer thingy at epochtimes.com. It turns out that, let's see, what does it say here? Oh yeah, Pfizer's COVID vaccine. Okay, one more. Thank you, Philo. Pfizer's COVID vaccine, excuse me, I gotta stop eating garlic and sardines before I come in. Pfizer's COVID vaccine linked to blood clotting, according to our own FDA. The FDA says it's not taking any action on the results from the study of 17.4 million elderly Americans. Dr. Peter McCulloch, that's the guy I was telling you about, chief medical advisor for the Truth for Health Foundation, told the Epoch Times that the new paper from the FDA corroborates the concerns of doctors that the large uptick in blood clots, progression of our atherosclerotic heart disease, and blood disorders is independently associated with COVID-19 vaccination. Pfizer didn't respond to a request for comment. Oh, no, really? Researchers used probability testing to detect an increased risk of one or more of 14 outcomes following the vax. The goal was to see whether it increases the risk of adverse outcomes, such as pulmonary embolism or blood clotting in the lungs. If an outcome met a certain statistical threshold, that it meant it could increase the risk. The FDA announced this, the increased risk being detected 4 events on July 12th, the last summer. No, 2 summers ago. Wow. Months after first detecting the possible issues. According to the Daily Clout, if you go to, oh God, I left it in the, whatever. Damn it. If you go to dailyclout.io, that's Naomi Wolf's website, she's compiled, they were the ones that made Pfizer cough up their data, which Pfizer wanted sealed for 75 years. But she's got the latest up-to-date studies, and it looks like, according to what she says, according to the Pfizer data, that at the dailyclout.io, that they knew about all this stuff when they okayed the damn thing, Philo.
Well, everybody wanted a vaccine, so they gave them one.
Yeah, damn it. In record time, too.
Yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly, it seems.
Yeah. The FDA is set to meet with its Vax advisory panel in January of this year about the future, as they've been performing much worse against the Omicron and its subvariants. A shortcoming of the Medicaid surveillance system, Medicare, is that it didn't capture prior and subsequent infection, which accentuate the cumulative risk of vaccination, McCulloch told the Epoch Times. Given the large number of individuals who have been vaccinated, the population attributable fraction of the medical problems ascribed to the vaccine is enormous. I have concerns over the future burden to the healthcare system as a consequence of mass indiscriminate vaccination. And we've told you about the massive payouts that the life insurance companies are paying out. Oh, and here we are. This kills me, too, because, see, the whole thing, boys and girls, thanks, Philo, the whole thing with the CDC, the FDA, the NIH, NAID, all this stuff, they were supposed to look at the root causes of these health problems that are affecting the United States, Philo, and get to the bottom of it. And what did they do? Under Fauci and the other people under their leadership since the 1970s, all they've done is okay drugs to treat the symptoms of this stuff, not look at the root causes. And they're saying diabetes predicted to surge in youth. Now, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not saying this because I don't know, but this whole surge in diabetes coincided at the same time that everybody switched from cane sugar to corn syrup in the 80s, because they said it changed the taste of Coca-Cola, so that Coke had to reformulate. Remember, they had the new Coke, and it didn't go over so good because when they were changing from cane sugar to corn syrup, it didn't quite work out right. They took them a while to get the formula right.
Oh yeah, Coke Classic.
Yeah, so then everybody started using corn syrup, or they were using aspartame or saccharin or whatever in the diet versions of soda. And then the industry is so much strong and has so much pull with lobbyists that they made the government include soda pop under food stamps, which is insane because it should never be allowed to be bought with food stamps, but yet it is.
I'll bet you could even buy beer and cigarettes too. I bet you.
You go to the right store, I guess. We used to joke with somebody who lived in North Troy and had a convenience store down between the town and village, right?
Yeah.
And you could go in there, and I guess this is what I was told. You could buy butts, you could buy beer, you could buy anything with your EBT card. Somehow, he just made that work. Yep. They're talking about, let's see, type 1, the most common type in young people, could see a 65% increase. The research estimate that by 2060, there could be as many as 220,000 people under 20 with type 2, which is an increase of 700%, Philo. Nothing to see there, right?
Nope.
Nope. Here we are. Americans, this kills me. You can get surveys to tell you anything you want. This is on page 2 by Susan Page. Now, I can vouch for this knowingly, that Susan Page is one of the most impartial Democratic reporters in the nation. And here's a study. You got to love these studies. Americans overwhelmingly back limits on social media. Oh, sure. Yeah, we don't want free speech anymore, Philo. No. We want limits. We want content moderation. We want censorship. It's as American as Valium pie. I mean, this isn't rocket surgery.
Yes. We're not the brightest tool in the shed.
Yeah. He's not the sharpest bulb on the tree. Americans, by an overwhelming numbers, express concern about the rise in anti-Semitism and white nationalism, a USA Today Suffolk poll finds, and most say social media platforms have an obligation to control hate speech on their sites. These findings of public opinion conflict with the actions of evil billionaire. Just every time they say billionaire, say evil billionaire Elon Musk. They conflict with the actions of evil billionaire Elon Musk, a self-described free speech absolutist, which is what the ACLU used to be. Remember when it was in the Blues Brothers movie. Even they guaranteed that the Nazis won their case in Skokie to march in full Nazi uniform through the middle of a Jewish neighborhood full of Holocaust survivors.
Yeah, and I think what happened was these young Jewish guys beat the crap out of them, didn't they?
I think so. I think so. The police had to move in, as I recall.
Yeah, because I think I had a lady friend out in Chicago, and she said, "Yeah, these young Jewish guys all went out and beat the crap out of them."
Oh, ooh, damn it! Let me check my phone, Philo. I can get information on the phone. Hello, Ethel. Ethel, could you look that up for me? Look up that Skokie thing and the Blues Brothers. Thanks. Get back to me. So anyways, Oh, yeah, over. You can see it in the Blues Brothers movie. The uncensored version is the best. And the Nazis are all marching on a bridge, and Dan Aykroyd floors it.
I found it.
See, Philo can get information on his phone, too.
Yeah, it was 1978.
Only Philo's phone has a screen. My old hornblower here doesn't. Yeah, evil billionaire. Since he dismantled some of the policies designed to limit disinformation and expressions of hatred, the Center for Countering Digital Hate. Who the hell is the Center for Countering Digital Hate, Philo?
This what?
It's a group. It's an hate speech monitoring group.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never
The
heard
Center
of them.
for Countering Digital Hate and other analists have reported that online slurs against blacks, Jews, gays, and others have soared. They've soared. Well, so what? Let them go. Then you know who the bigots are. Don't
Yes.
you people get it?
But you know what's even funnier, though?
What's that?
When people say things about straight white males, no matter how horrible, nobody blinks.
That's perfectly okay.
Oh, that's okay.
We're the new Negras.
Now, if you're black, if you're Asian, if you're Hispanic, if you're gay, if you're trans something or other, transmission, you've all protected. But
And Hispanics are not even a race. Hispanics can run from Negroid Cubans to friggin' white, blue-eyed Hispanics from Mexico. You're suddenly a race because you speak Spanish? That makes absolutely no sense.
none of this does, especially in this woke generation we've got.
Oh, man. It's
horrible.
turning. This is the year it's turning back, Philo. People have had it.
Enough people have, I know that much.
On Monday, I got to get out my... This is my misinformation helmet.
Hey!
When I wear this helmet, no misinformation will penetrate it. So you can be assured, all the censors at YouTube, that wearing this helmet, no misinformation will get into this thick skull, boys and girls. On Monday, Muskie disbanded the Trust and Safety Council, an advisory group of civil rights and child safety advocates formed to guide the company through content moderation censorship issues. Okay. Ooh. And how much were they charging Twitter to be on this group, Philo?
Oh,
I'm betting they got like $1 million a year.
Easily.
Oh, man. The Trust and Safety Council. Doesn't that sound nice?
It sounds so delicious.
It's so clean. It's the driven snow.
And all the snowflakes in Boylington.
We love it.
Oh, yeah. Look, we haven't even mentioned defund the police again.
Oh, man. Oh, that's working out so good. So good. As a matter of fact, we love muggers and rapists. It turns out that they're just misunderstood. They're UVMs. They're underprivileged, vulnerable, and marginalized. They had a rough childhood. Doesn't care if they push Granny into an oncoming train. Come on. Doesn't matter.
And they're trying to get the cops back by paying them extra, and the cops won't come back.
Cops are all, I've had it. I can make double the money out on Long Island. Screw you people.
Yep, that's right.
In the poll, 52% majority of those surveyed say social media companies have a responsibility to restrict hateful or inaccurate posts. In contrast, 39% said the site should be an open forum, even if speech is hateful or inaccurate. Guys, it's 40% to 50, 39 to 52. I'm thinking it's probably close to 50-50 or more.
Probably.
I wonder who participated in this.
Wasn't me. They didn't ask me anything.
In the USA Today Suffolk poll. Men by 11 percentage points endorse an open forum. Women by 38% say hate speech should be limited. Liberals and moderates overwhelmingly support restricting hate speech online. Conservatives, by more than 2-1, oppose it. Because you know what? It all depends on whose ox is gored, okay? Because if they're goring my ox or the conservative ox today, you never know. Something could change. In 10 years, it'll be the liberal ox that's being gored. You people don't realize it. Once you let this train roll off out of the station, man, it ain't coming back.
Nope.
Oh, damn. In the survey, 3 in 4 Americans, 74%, said they are concerned about the rising hate speech. Nearly half, 49%, are very concerned, while Democrats express more alarm than Repubs. Majority of lines of race, region, age, and partnership see a worrisome rise in the hatred against blacks and Jews. Oh, man. Biden, false lack of action on guns. Now, wait a minute. What action would that be? Would that be the action they haven't taken against your son Hunter for lying on a federal form to get a gun, and then taking that same gun and having his sister-in-law or whatever throw it into a dumpster, and then have the Secret Service men try to come down and get the damn paperwork? You know, what the hell? Here we are. Oh, man. Blow Biden, blow. Man, they put on the knee pads for this guy. I won't even touch that one. Oh, here we are. Here's another one. See, now you get the idea that they're kind of trying to put a message into your heads. Anti-LGBTQ RU12C3PO XYZ cornhole me. Expressing a rise. It's so concerned. Here it is. Rhetoric online spurs fears. Then there's Twitter, which saw a surge in racist, anti-Semitic, and homophobic conduct following the purchase by evil billionaire Elon Musk. A self-described beach absolutist. Who wrote this? David Klepper. It might as well be Susan Page. They're all in the same freaking club, I guess. Musk himself posted a tweet that mocked transgender pronouns. Did you see the email I sent the board, Philo?
No, what was it?
It was about a month ago. We have a person on our board, and I love this woman. She's great. She has her own business. And she's scared of the virus, and I don't blame her. She's my age or whatever. And she's on the board, and she sent the whole board an email about, I don't know, one of the meetings or something, or attending remotely or something.
Oh.
And she put down her pronouns as hers and whatever, she and hers or something like that. So I couldn't resist. You know me, right? So I sent an email back to the whole board, and I put down my pronouns as being His Highness and Your Majesty. I didn't hear anything about it. I guess it was okay with the hoi polloi.
Well, I didn't read it, so I can't. This pronoun business is just, I don't know. I think what happens with some of these people that are so easily offended is because you get guys. There's a couple of guys on Facebook that I see. One of them is Ben Shapiro, but there's another guy.
Yeah,
they're saying, you can't have 48 different sexes. You can't do it.
I'm a two-spirit. Two spirits in one. Anyways, Musk himself posted a tweet that mocked transgender pronouns, as well as another misleadingly suggesting that Yoel Roth, Twitter's former head of trust and safety, had supporting letting children into gay dating apps. Well, you know why it was misleading, Philo?
Why is that?
Because he didn't tweet that. He did. They ran down this guy. He's a flaming liberal. Ooh. And he wrote his thesis, doctoral thesis, or term paper, whatever they call them damn things.
The masters have a thesis, yeah.
Yeah, well, it might have been something. I'm not sure if he had a master's, but he wrote the whole thing about how he used specific terms to get through the filter on Grindr, which is a gay website for gay hookups. So even though he didn't say it in a tweet, he actually did support letting children onto gay, or didn't support letting children. He kind of like showed how he could, or some damn thing, or something like that. You can find it out there.
Okay,
anyways,
Steve, last but not least.
Yeah. I mean, we all voted for twerking drag queens for our kids, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I voted for. Oh man. here we are. Oh, all right, last but not least, here's one for outgoing Leahy. Yeah, what a journey! And here Leahy's pointing out over his balcony in Washington saying, I'm the Lizard King. See this massive swamp? We bankrupted the whole country because he was the one who withheld that budget. The budget was supposed to come out in September. They withheld it until 2 days before it was due, then released 4,200 pages of it in the middle of the night so that nobody could see it or read it, and then said, it's an omnibus bill. Omnibus terribilis. You have to pass it. You don't have time to read it.
Like
and
Naughty,
that's what the...
Like Naughtius Maximus?
Yes, exactly. Biggest dickus. And that's why that's what the fight is over in Washington right now. And they're all in chambers. They haven't done that in years, 2 years, because Nazi Pelosi let them all come in remotely, which is a violation of congressional rules. Anyways, once again, you wasted a perfect good hour of your life watching this stupid show. So hopefully we'll see you again next week. Well, this will be 2 weeks late if they won't let me on. I'll post it. Hopefully we'll see you again next week. Inshallah, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. So until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque. Sniff the bum of the guy in the man dressed in front of you. Head east towards the meteorite Mecca and pray, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, open bar.
And a happy Deus Magnus Est to everyone.
Good old Grateful Dead.
I like Kamala. She's all right. I like her almost as much as that Zelensky guy. Oh, I like Zelensky with I like him in those little tight T-shirts. He looks good. He looks like a little G.I. Joe. Yeah, we ought to sell those. Little G.I. Joe kind of Zelenskys with the kung fu grip. Holding on to a nice fat wad of American cash.
Not just with their sexuality, but also with their gender identity.
This is
it's one of the reasons I think it's so important to be out and loud and proud. I teach my elementary school students about gender identity. Some people are girls, some are boys, some are both, some are neither. I'm a kid. We do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and he goes, oh, that
one? So there's something really wrong in the country and in our
droplet. But we don't need to provide the perfect protection that people think that it is. So if you have a physical covering with one layer, you put another layer on, it just makes common sense that it likely
no mask,
more effective.
one
And that's
mask,
the reason why you see
mask.
people either double masking or doing a version of an N95.
Wait.
This is the first frost. You know what was happening. You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window.
Huh?
That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And so I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community at home.
Sort of.
These truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. I want to thank the former general. I keep calling him general. The guy who runs that outfit over there.
What?
Jobs that are going to be created here. The joke. Think about it. Think about what you think about. This is an extraordinary story being written today in America by this administration as I step all over my coat. Good thing my mom's not around. This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
America?
This is who we are. You know how much we're going to do with the deficit this year? I used to drive a tractor trailer.
You did?
And so I know a little bit about driving big trucks.
Girl.
In his own little world. If Kamala was here, she'd laugh. Hey, don't begrudge me a little vacation, would you? I mean, if I'm running in 2024, I'm going to have to get back in that basement. Come on, man.
We'll get high. We touched it. We'll touch the sky. That's why that she is there. I'll tell you why. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. I feel inclined to blow my mind, get hung up feed the ducks with a bun. They all come out to groove about, be nice and have fun in the sun.
It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. It's all too beautiful. Ha! It's all too beautiful. 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 It's all too beautiful.